Hi Cancer, and welcome to your July the 1st to the 15th tarot reading. It's funny, I woke up, it's the morning of the eclipse, 0° Cancer, and had this overwhelming need to do your reading. I think essentially what's going on for you, Cancer, will be the theme that's going on for a lot of us for the next 6 months, especially where our Cancer falls in our birth chart. Okay, so there's going to be a sort of letting go of what's no longer working and a welcoming in of the new. Okay, so I pulled 2 Lenormand cards for you before I do my reading. You got the book and the ring. Oh, I'm sorry, my throat. So the book is about knowledge. So seeking some sort of knowledge, some sort of wisdom. So some of you might, sometimes when the book comes up, it can sometimes be a feeling of, oh, I'm a little bit lost. So seeking some sort of knowledge, some sort of guidance. So sort of, this could be like getting your birth chart read, that sort of thing, to guide you about what's going on. But seeking some sort of, I want to say inspiration, but I just come back to knowledge. And then you get the ring. So the ring tends to be a card about commitment, can be about love, obviously, but the ring is about eternity. It does tend to represent some sort of union. This could be regarding your relationships, but it could be with yourself, Cancer, remember? This homecoming to your own sense of divinity and your own sense of being. In a strange way, they're both the same thing, because once you come home to yourself, you automatically begin to meet that in the external world anyhow. So I'm not quite sure what these cards are talking about. We'll find out when we do the general reading. Very, very beautiful Lenormands. I've just started studying the Lenormands, but I'm finding them extremely helpful for clarity in the readings. So give me a minute to shuffle your cards. So not sure how you've been finding this eclipse, Cancer. Has there been a lot of tears? Remember, tears are the healing balm of the soul. They thaw us out. They thaw out those parts of us that became like ice. And they thaw us out and they get our life to flow again. So I guess that's why I've got this overwhelming desire to do your reading. I'm almost trying to tune into your energy. So give me readings for the sign of Cancer from the 1st to the 15th, please. So behind you is the 4 of Cups and the Sun card. So you're very much obviously coming into your solar return, your solar energy. 4 of Cups is it's an interesting card here. It's almost like there's some very, very deep processing going on for you. So when we've got a lot of processing going on, we can be not almost in the state of, I like to call it inertia. So there's not a lot of movement. For some of you, this cup has been offered to you, but there's so little energy to want to get up and take this cup. I always think there's something way deeper going on with this card. And it's not quite came to surface yet what it's about. And if that's the case, don't force anything. Just allow this whole process to work through. Because you'll find out over the next few days what wants to be let go of and what wants to come forward in your life. Then you get the Sun card. So this is basically you being in your solar return, your solar energy. So enjoy it. This sense of illumination or bringing light to that which has been in the shadow realm. So bringing light to your being, Cancer. And I really hope, I mean, these two cards together might be bringing light to the sense of, almost a sense of flatness. But really with the Four of Cups, there's something way deeper going on. I always think it's a soul is processing something, okay? Now what you want is the Hermit card. So this is either a Virgo or you want to spend some time reflecting. I'll find out more. This is about just wanting to spend time. Tends to be in your own presence. Because the Hermit's been on a very long journey. And because of that Four of Cups underneath it, there's a sense of wanting to be in, it's almost like a digestive process of something. I need to carry on. The Nine of Pentacles is the gift. That is the Hermit card. So you've got two cards, what you want and the gift is exactly the same thing. But what a lot of people, with the Nine of Pentacles, it's the card of digesting. So digesting where the soul has been. Everything that you've gone through, well, not in your life, but maybe for some of you it is in your life, because the astrology is so intense that maybe you are processing an awful lot that's happened to you. The challenge is the Two of Pentacles. So this is a card of juggling options, trying to juggle maybe multiple different requirements. So the Two of Pentacles can be juggling this desire to spend time in contemplation, with also this cup that's coming your way. So trying to juggle out different sort of things that you have to handle. Yeah, because the Knight of Cups is in your relationships. Can I move this so you can see it? So already you're balancing out this desire to be the Hermit with a Knight of Cups. And that's probably why you're the Four of Cups here. It's a very, Nine of Swords in your money and work. So maybe a little bit of projection, fear of the future going on in your finances. Seven of Swords at a soul level. So you've already got a lot of thinking energy. What a beautiful outcome. You get the Star card, which is grace, transparency, allowing in all this beautiful, beautiful light into your life. Remember, Cancer, light in the Star card and grace tends to come after we've gone through a process of moving through whatever this very, very intense year is bringing up for you. What I've done, Cancer, is I've done a collective reading, and I'm having to find a way to try and bring out, separate individual readings to collective energies. So that's what I'm trying to do, and I'm doing it in my private readings as well. I'm almost doing a collective reading before I do the personal reading. You're definitely going through something here. I mean, the outcome is fantastic because it's grace, and grace is the healing power of the universe. Grace decides everything. We can pray, but it's grace that decides when something happens. And that's why when we've got a problem, it's always to the energy of grace that we have to invite in. So there might, it looks like, it already looks like the conflict is between some sort of cup and a desire to be on your own. There is some anxiety going on around money. I think it'd be very, very hard for most of us not to feel it. But the Nine of Pentacles is a strange card as the gift, because the Nine of Pentacles is not about being in acute survival needs. So I want you to actually question, Cancer, how much of this is real. And for some of you, if it's real and your survival needs are absolutely dire, then it's grace we need to call in. But for yous that are not, I wonder if what's happening is a sense of your security and worry about the future is going on. Because it's that fear and that uncertainty. And then we project it onto the future. You know, I'm doing it, Cancer. Oh my God, what's it going to be like? You know, I'm doing the same. But constantly having to catch yourself, come back to the here and now. But I will clarify that. So what you want is the Hermit and the Nine of Pentacles. This is about being on your own and digesting. It rules Virgo. Virgo rules the digestive process. So it's almost a desire to assimilate. Yeah. And then we assimilate and then we move on. We never want to move on without having assimilated what we need to. So I think you already know that, by the way. The challenge with that Two of Pentacles might be financial, but there is a little bit of a tension here between this desire and this energy. It is very, very clear. Look, there's 4 here, and this ace here, and this ace here. So this is the energy that's coming at you, and you're a bit like, I want to be the Hermit. Can I ask how Cancer would handle that, please? How would Cancer handle that? Oh, gosh. With the Ace of Cups. What would love do? What would love do? I mean, love is both open but truthful. It doesn't, it's honest. It's transparent. The Star card. And it could say things like, I love you. At the same time, I need to be in some sort of retreat energy. Because it's transparency that makes our relationships real. It's not about repressing and hiding under the carpet, because that never really goes well, Cancer. That tends to be where our relationships go wrong, because we've got this unconscious, I want to be alone, but instead I'll put on a face for you. And by the looks of what you're processing, I think that's a little bit of a struggle for you right now, and your greatest need is transparency. So, yeah. So, interesting here. And it's interesting because you've got the Ring card, which is about loyalty. It's not disloyal to state what you need. Okay, let me find out what's going on for you financially. So tell me about the Nine of Swords. I mean, Nine of Swords is basically anxiety. That's it. That's what it is. And you can look very clearly. The moon's there. The moon's our sense of safety. And the Nine of Swords is almost like a bloody nightmare. So we're projecting everything that can go wrong. And actually in the Nine of Swords, we're actually believing it's happening, because the body and the mind doesn't know the difference between fantasy and reality, Cancer. So I really want you to be mindful. Now, I am not saying, because there's obviously a lot of people who's going to be in very dire here and now financial issues. And if that's not you, I really want you to move into mindfulness here. Because there can be a little bit of a juggling with those Two of Pentacles. But tell me about the Nine of Swords for Cancer, please. Yeah, you get the Hanging Man. So a feeling that you're in some sort of suspended animation. But the Hanging Man's got a deeper spiritual purpose. The spiritual purpose of the Hanging Man is to clear out cobwebs. It's like the Hanging Man goes down to the unconscious mind and it clears out the debris And the debris is projecting the past onto the future. And maybe you have a little bit of feeling of impotence, not feeling in control here, not being able to take the lead. The highest prayer is thy will be done, thy will be done, thy will be done. And then calling in grace. Grace never goes unheard. Grace always is heard. And if for some of you who are in this sort of situation and calling in grace, Cancer, but if you're not, use these cards together to clear out whatever, because we all inherit these money stories. Every single one of us is inherited a money story. And quite often these cards together would say that maybe there's some clearing out that's needed here. There's going to be different people in different situations. And maybe some of you do feel very much, oh my gosh, I'm anxious. There's a feeling that I am not in control of this. I want you to keep breathing. But the biggest thing I want you to do is saying, is this a hard fact? Or am I projecting my money story into the future? And if so, you use the energy of the Hanged Man to be able to clear that, to be able to move forward, because that's when you get the very, very, very deep transformational energy of the Death card. And then you move through the shadows. So anyhow, Seven of Swords at a soul level. What's the Seven of Swords about? There's almost that you're in between worlds here with that Seven of Swords. Shall I stay? Shall I go? I wonder if some of you are a little bit concerned about authentic communication with someone with these cards, because there's conflicting desires here between relationship and wanting to be time alone. Okay, the Seven of Swords is a shadow card, so there's things that are not spoken about, and it seems to be circulating in your mind. It's almost like a little bit of a niggling. What's going on at a soul level for Cancer? What's the Seven of Swords about? Yeah, hold on. Oh, I missed it. It's gone, so it's obviously not your card. It just disappeared. Or it was the Nine of Wands. Now you got the Ten of Wands. Yeah. This is some sort of completion process going on here. And it's almost like there's a huge ending of something. It's not the ending of a relationship. It could be the ending of something that's been repressing you. Could be something to do with a job. Could be something to do with your finances. Or it could be the ending of a huge karmic cycle. Now, what's that karmic cycle about? One card to see, what's that karmic cycle about? Page of Pentacles. It's definitely there's definitely a relationship theme here, but there's also another story about how you survive in the world. Some of you might be thinking of birthing a new project, some sort of new skill, some sort of new work thing. And maybe that's where the fear is coming from, that fear of, oh my gosh, if I do it, will people want my services? Am I enough? That sort of storyline. And because the Ten of Wands is completing a chapter, so a new one begins. You get the Ace and the Page. And then the Star card is the outcome. I don't even want to, I love the Star card. It's just such an energy of lightness, and it's with the Ten of Cups, which is rainbow after the storm, some sort of lightness coming. There's no doubt about it here. You have got a complex reading, okay? I think going to the Star and the Ten of Cups is about moving from the shadow to the light. The human story is the shadow to the light. Okay? There's a lot of love that seems to want to come your way here. But you've got the conflicting desires of wanting to spend time on your own. I think your desire to spend time on its own is because an oppressive cycle wants to end and something new wants to be born, but particularly around the material plane. Okay? Now, most of it is going to take place in where your Cancer is in your birth chart, particularly your moon placement, things like that. So if for some of you go, like your Cancer falls in the 7th house of relationships, then you can apply this energy to that something wants to end and something new wants to begin. Okay? Going to the Star and the Ten of Cups is this incredible, it's almost a story of like, because when you're in a hangman, you're in the shoveling the past, turning the past into compost of the new life. And by the time you get to the Star and the Ten of Cups, there's been a whole transfiguration of this pattern. And then you're beginning to move into this wonderful, wonderful new energy. And then Cancer, we start the whole process over again in another area of our lives. Now, your reading is very, very, very much going to be reflected in the... I haven't done my community reading yet, but I'm sort of gathering that most people are going to be dealing with energy like this, because what's going on for you is the themes that everyone's going to be working with for the next 6 months. So you're definitely moving something oppressive that strangled the life out of you is wanting to end. There's anxiety as you go through into this new chapter. There's a combination of this beautiful love with this desire to be alone, which is always a hard one. And the hard one is, how do I be honest and the other person doesn't feel rejected? The only way we can do that is through authenticity and transparency. And then holding space for the other person's reaction. Anyhow, Cancer, and I think the ring is about the Ten of Cups and the Star cards. Like, it looks like to me there's probably some relationship moving to a whole new level. And maybe that's what it's about. Maybe this is what this is about. What is my greatest need? To be here or to be to spend time in reflection? For some of you, you're dealing with a Virgo. It's a Virgo person you're dealing with. And the biggest challenge is, oh my gosh, how do I find meaning? How do I find meaning in how I make a living? Okay? Okay, Cancer, please try and check out the community reading, because it's the way that what's going on for us as an individual will be reflected in the collective. So all the oppression, there's a desire to clear out the oppression we've been going through. And I'm going to do that separately. So much love, Cancer. I really have missed you, by the way. And much love wherever you are. Bye.